Retro Rewind.
This week, we're diving into the 1993 classic Groundhog Day, directed by Harold Ramis and starring Bill Murray. This film takes us on a comedic and philosophical journey as a weatherman relives the same day over and over. But does this time loop tale still entertain, or is it just a bad case of deja vu? But does this time loop tale still entertain, or is it just a bad case of deja vu? But does this time loop? All right, yeah. Sorry.
I like that. It's a joke. It's a good joke. You could tell your mom that joke.
I could, yeah, you could.
It's a good one.
You could do that.
Well, play Gary.
Do a
Groundhog Day.
Family joke.
1993.
1993.
I didn't realize how old this movie was. I mean, I know it was. I actually thought it was a little older, so it's kind of like, but quickly, Rotten Tomatoes has it sitting at 94 and 88. I think this is a universally loved film.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll say this: I had not seen this movie probably since it came out. I truly don't remember when I was watching. I mean, I remember the premise.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't remember most of the scenes.
Yeah,
so,
there were quite a few I forgot too.
Yeah, so it was like deja vu for me. I knew I'd seen it
all over again.
So this was pleasant for me to watch as far as seeing it again. So
now, did you watch it with Teresa, or no? Was she not able to?
So, have I told you how Teresa watches movies with me? Have I shown you the physical?
No, but is it on the phone? Oh, okay, that's how it.
Baby, you got to watch this scene. Oh, that's pretty good.
Nice,
baby, honey. I could have watched this 3 days ago if you weren't. She's like, I'm watching it. I thought, okay, all right. What do I know?
She fell into the trap of the phone.
And the beautiful thing about Teresa, besides her inner beauty and outer beauty, she's a stunning, beautiful woman. In case she's watching,
Andy's contractually obligated to us.
She is the sponsor of my life, not the show. She's not on social media. She's not scanning Facebook or TikTok. When she's scrolling, she's not doing any of that.
What is she doing?
She's shopping.
Oh, okay. Well,
I will say this. You can edit this, but we have a friend of ours' daughter's getting married, and she is trying to help her organize it. So she's got like her laptop up, spreadsheets. I mean, this is Teresa's wheelhouse.
I gotcha.
Give me a task. This is all I'll do. And but the budget, she's putting a budget. It's anyway. Groundhog Day, Gary. It's funny. I don't remember seeing this movie. It's been a long time, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Wait, was that so I could make an edit?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's probably been 20 years since I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's been a while, and there were quite a bit of scenes that I had forgotten. I mean, there's the main ones that you kind of recall. Absolutely. And then the running into Stephen, what's his name?
Tobrowski.
Yeah. The part where he runs into him. I remembered that scene.
I didn't. And then I loved each different one. Each scene was like he'd react to everything. He hugs him.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing, he hugs him really tight and he's like, let's go somewhere, you and me.
Yeah. It was great to watch again. So, but I do have some notes about the film, not my particular notes, but just some interesting things about the movie that I thought I would share.
Shoot.
I don't know if you have any or not.
Non-sponsored beverage.
Refreshing beverage. So, I did not know that Harold Ramis and Bill Murray kind of clashed on this film. Apparently they had creative differences that actually lasted all the way up until shortly before Harold Ramis died. They reconciled. Which is crazy to know, because I never realized that.
Do we think this is Bill Murray?
What do you mean? You mean his? Maybe.
We talked just a second before we started recording that it seems like he's got a reputation for being a difficult to work with and whatnot. So I wonder if this is more Bill Murray.
I don't know.
How many stories are there? Boy, that Harold Ramis, what a jagoff he is to work with.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
I hate that because I thoroughly enjoy a lot of Bill Murray's movies.
I know. And you don't like to think of him like that, but
Very
you know,
well.
maybe he's just an eccentric dude and just,
I read that as a
I don't
douchebag.
know. Could be. Could be. So, what I did not realize is that the writer, Harold Ramis, is a co-writer on a film, but Danny Rubin is the other writer. That there was a little bit of back and forth between those two. During the original drafts of the early drafts of the film was very different. The original screenplay that Danny Rubin wrote began with Phil already in the time loop with no explanation on how it started. And the idea was to get the viewers kind of immersed with the confusion of him.
Okay.
Harold Ramis is the one that added the romantic arc to it and set up where Phil's cynicism contrasts with the whole charm of the small village of Punxsutawney.
I would say Ramis did a bang up job turning this film around.
Yeah. I guess initially it was supposed to be sort of more of a philosophical and darker kind of film, and that Harold Ramis brought comedy to it, making it more of a comedy. Which, I mean, I think that's what's really cool about it. And makes the, it's funny because it's kind of a no pun intended, timeless movie. Even though there's a lot of dated things in it, like the alarm clock and different things that are in the film that are dated. But even though it's dated, it's like the story works still. I mean, the way it plays out, it all works still,
Listen, I wrote a note down here that says, this is a comedy. This could have easily been a horror film.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a cut where somebody took the trailer and made it a horror film.
Or at least a dark film.
Yeah.
Because you're watching this and you can I could see where this would turn a couple of different ways. Murray could have gone off on some kind of a murderous spree just for shits and giggles.
Because he could.
He could have seen things happening over time. So it was interesting. And I thought, boy, there's a great premise here to really mess with. I'm looking at you, Eli Roth,
Yeah. Well, dude, so that was what I was going to tell you. Because I don't think you've seen it yet, but have you seen Happy Death Day?
No.
Okay. It's been done. So what you're talking about has been done. Now that's also got comedy elements to it. It's still funny, but it's a horror comedy and there's death in it. And I did not know that going into it, but I had heard that movie was a good movie and I checked it out and saw that and the sequel. And they're both actually really entertaining films. I recommend them, but that is
in case we review them.
Oh yeah, well nobody will know.
For Jeff that's still watching, thanks Jeff.
Yeah, thanks Jeff. But it inspired actually. Groundhog Day was supposed to be an inspiration to that film.
Nice.
Apparently, there was an episode of X-Files I don't recall called Monday that was also inspired by this movie. Don't know. I'd have to go back and revisit X-Files. It's been forever and a day.
Well, I'll say this, and I'm not trying to get you off of your notes there, but interestingly enough, I wonder why they chose Groundhog Day, because there's nothing about Groundhog Day that says timeless, repetitive, but it now becomes synonymous with, it's in the ether or whatever you want to call it that we live in, that people of a certain age, if you repeat a day, I feel like this is Groundhog Day again.
Yeah.
That was never prior to this movie, there was no reason to say those words in a sentence together.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was one of those things where it's like, we know what around the time period that this movie is going to come out and we don't have anything for that time period. Maybe we could tie it up like, April Fool's Day had their movie, maybe they thought that way. I don't know. I mean, I would be interested to see even the original screenplay to see.
I have a note about that, about the original screenplay. I'd like to see how much dialogue is actually in it, because a lot of it's the same scenes over and over, just the interactions slightly different.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is the next set scene is like, okay, Bill, you say the same lines, inflection a little different here, and you're going to react differently here, but otherwise it's the same. So it's like, where maybe a typical screenplay is 90 pages, this might be 58. Just repeat, see last page, change here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just little footnotes on it or something.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Uh,
would love to see a copy of the script.
One of the things I had forgotten watching it was the trying to visualize how much time has actually gone by. How long has he been stuck in this loop? Because when you start piecing together all the little things, that he knows all these people, and then he's taught himself. Well, he's not taught himself, but he's got the piano teacher. He's all of these different things that have played out over time. I do have a note that says initially Harold Ramis said that it was around 10 years, but fan theories and other people estimate that it was probably 30 to 40 years that he was stuck in that. Can you imagine?
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
I didn't either, but I do picture it being a very long time with a lot of the stuff that happens.
Well,
And like you said, one of the things you did say was talking about it, how it could easily be a dark film. There are a couple dark moments in the movie where he gets kind of exasperated with what's going on, and
it's true.
So there it kind of plays into, and quickly, because you can't spend too much time on it, but it plays out a lot of what you could imagine if somebody was going through that, the different degrees of emotions that they would be feeling at the time. I thought that was really interesting.
It's funny because the only thought I put to what the time frame was, to me it was just a couple of months. I never thought about it being longer than 6 months ever. Until you said that, now I'm like, well, he had to learn piano.
Right. And imagine how much time would he have had to learn piano? But maybe like an hour a day, so maybe, I don't know.
Well, the other thing that I thought about, and again, we're putting way too much thought into this just funny movie.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it, you're watching it with a critical eye, and I was like, how come? So are the other people living their lives normally? Because they don't recognize this as the same day over and over.
Oh yeah, they're not stuck in a loop.
Is this an alternate timeline, and he's the only one that's present in it?
I picture it as
Am I too meta all of a sudden? Did I go too far?
I picture it as he goes to bed at night and he starts the day over. Everybody else, life has gone on. This is just him reliving.
So then, in their world, where's he?
Well, that's a good question, because also he does stuff that changes things that happen on the timeline too. So I don't know. Maybe that is a quantum thing where
it's a little butterfly effect.
Every time he makes a different decision, there's another timeline that's created. I guess, I don't know.
There's be some great fan fiction in this. You should write something, Gary.
You should probably look it up. There probably is some. One of the things that I found out about this movie that I didn't realize was that Chevy Chase was considered for the role. Tom Hanks was considered for the role, but they thought he was nice. They thought he was too likable. Yeah. And even Michael Keaton, which again, when you see a film that just seems really perfect for the person that's playing it, it starts becoming difficult to try to picture somebody else. I think as far as the unlikable quality that Bill Murray has in the beginning, or through a good portion of the film, Chevy Chase could easily pull off, because
he's very unlikable.
I think he has that. And I get it with the Tom Hanks. I guess I could see that would be kind of a difficult. I don't think he would play that kind of jerk persona as well. But Michael Keaton could have pulled it off. I agree. I think he could have been good in it.
You think of Keaton via Mr. Mom, Night. What's
Night? Night Shift.
Night Shift. Or the
you just saw our brains break right there.
Gary, please edit some smoke coming out of here. And what was the Money Pit? No, that's Tom Hanks. Never mind.
That's Tom Hanks. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I could see Keaton. Not the Keaton from Birdman or something like that, but that early Keaton, I could see that. Yeah. But again, I rarely can see a movie and think of anybody else in the role. Once in a while, I think this person would have been better. I'm not going to name names, Jack Reacher, but in this series, in this film, I mean, look, Bill Murray's he's perfect for this.
Yeah,
He's such a snarky, smarmy kind of guy that he fits that opening the way he is in the beginning. It's perfect.
it's like Scrooged.
And yes,
he's kind of the same way in Scrooged. It's the whole.
I got that whole Scrooge vibe the whole time watching this again, and I like Scrooge, so I'm like, this is just a fun movie, you know.
Yeah,
and I'm happy, you know. I'm happy we watched it again, and
me too.
It made me laugh, and I was like, "This is one you should watch every couple years to remind yourself." Like, oh yeah, there was I don't have to say a golden era of comedies, but there were some good films that are sitting back here, which is kind of what we're trying to do here at the Retro Rewind. Is to, hey people, don't forget, you know, we get lost in the Marvel universe, but go back and watch some classics that you liked for a reason.
Yeah,
and they're still good. You know, like that old pair of jeans you find in your closet. You're like, oh yeah, those are pretty good. Let me put those Joe Elliott ripped up holy jeans on because that feel good. These things.
It's also not normal to take a comedy that makes you think as much as this one does after the fact when you start putting thought to, you know, the stuff that he goes through. So yeah, in that aspect too, it works on multiple levels. So. I don't know if we need to spend any more time on it other than to say that I did enjoy seeing it again. I recommend it. If anybody hasn't seen it, I don't know why you haven't yet, but you should.
Yeah.
Check it out and let us know what you think. And let us know in the comments as well what you think if you've already seen it. Of course, if this is already in your list of films.
Yeah.
Where's it rank? Where's it rank in your list? Let us know. Andy, you want to say goodbye?
I like the Video Aces. They're the best.
Okay. All right.
Hold it, fella. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? You little brat? You have never thanked me. I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe.
The Tommy twins are at it again, hoping to plaster your face with a grin. We're taking it back to a good old time when Hollywood had hit their stride. We're talking about nostalgic flicks, and we're hoping to get some like button clicks. Flick flops, retro rewind, going back to a better time when the movies with your honey didn't cost so much damn money. Flick flops, retro rewind.
This has been a Touch of Madness production, brought to you by the creative minds at Tommy Twins Media.